In this video, we'll discuss absolute value equations and inequalities. Remember that an absolute value is the distance from zero. So when we say the absolute value of x is 5, what we mean is x is 5 or x is negative 5. So anytime we have an absolute value equation, we're going to want to break this up into two different statements. One of them where the inside is positive, and the other where the inside is the opposite of the other. So for absolute value of x equals 3, we're talking about x equals 3 or x equals negative 3. In this second example, we have the absolute value being a negative 3. But since we're talking about distance from 0, and we don't measure distance in a negative way, this one has no solution. So basically, what we're going to do to solve an absolute value equation is we're going to isolate the absolute value, apply the absolute value property. In other words, I like to call this breaking it out of jail. Break out of the bars. And then solve the equation. So for this first example, we have 3x plus 5 in absolute value equals 14. So that means 3x plus 5 is either 14 or 3x plus 5 is negative 14. This will give us 3x equals 9 or x equals 3. And this second one will give us 3x equals negative 19 or x is negative 19 thirds. In our next example, we have to first isolate this absolute value. So in that case, we would have to subtract 8 from both sides. And we're going to get the absolute value of x minus 3 equals negative 4. This is no solution. And it's important to make sure before you break this up that you make sure that it's just an absolute value equaling some number. For example, on this third one, if we were to immediately say 2x minus 1 minus 5 is negative 3, and then 2x minus 1 minus 5 is positive 3, we would have an error. We need to make sure that we take the absolute value and get it all by itself. So in this case, the absolute value of 2x minus 1 equals 2. Then we can break it apart. 2x minus 1 is 2, or 2x minus 1 is negative 2. This will give us 2x equals 3, or x equals 3 halves. And this second one will give us 2x equals negative 1, or negative 1 half. For this last example, it looks a little different. Let me see if I can straighten this out. Okay, so we've got 5 minus the absolute value of 4x plus 3 equals 2. And we need to make sure that this is by itself. So I'm first going to just rewrite this. The negative absolute value of 4x plus 3 plus 5 equals 2. I only did that so that I can see that this is a negative absolute value. So at this point, we're going to subtract 5 from each side. We'll get the negative absolute value of 4x plus 3 equals negative 3. Multiplying both sides of this equation by negative 1 just so we have the absolute value of 4x plus 3 equaling 3. So now I've isolated it, and I can break it apart, break it out of jail. One of them, notice we leave the inside exactly like it is. We just change the sign of this on the right-hand side. So here we're going to get 4x equals 0, or x is 0. This is going to give us 4x is negative 6, or x is negative 3/2. When solving an absolute value inequality, we oftentimes treat it very similarly, but this is going to be what we call a compound inequality. So if you have the absolute value of x being less than a, what we're saying is that the distance from 0 is less than a, but it also has to be greater than negative a. So you're looking at the solution where they intersect between minus a and a, like this. That is a less than. I like to think of that as a less than. That reminds me that I'm looking for the intersection. The second one, the absolute value of something being greater than a, might look like this, greater than a, or less than negative a, and that's exactly how we write it. We say x is greater than a, or x is less than negative a. And here we might actually have two pieces of the inequality with a union. Okay, so these possible graphs, let's just take a look. Let's say I have the graph greater than a and less than negative a. Well, in this particular case, you might think it's automatically the intersection, but that depends on if it's an and statement or an or statement. If this is an and statement, we're looking for the intersection from minus a to a. But if it's an or statement, everything that's shaded, which in this case would be everything, minus infinity to infinity, would be our solution. So keep in mind that the word and or, which comes from less than is and greater than is or, it depends. The picture will kind of tell you. So here we have the second picture that might look like this. And this could be an and statement or an or statement. If it's an and statement, since I'm looking for the intersection, this is no solution. But if it's an or statement, it's negative infinity up to negative a, union a to infinity. So let's do a couple of examples. The first thing that we should note is our inequality symbol. This is a less than, it's an and. So I can say that x is less than or equal to 5, greater than or equal to negative 5. And that interval would be negative 5 to 5, because you're saying x is between those two numbers. This next is another less than. So again, we can write the inequality as a chain and say 3x plus 2 is less than 5 or greater than negative 5. And we solve it like we would an equation. Anytime you subtract, you have to subtract from all three pieces. 5 minus 2 is 3. Then we'll divide everything by 3. Negative 7/3, less than x, less than 1. Notice it's less than, so it's parentheses. Negative 7/3 to 1. Now the next one, C, we have to isolate our absolute value. So I would start here by dividing through by 3. That's going to give me the absolute value of 5 minus 2x is greater than or equal to 1. Now that I have isolated, I can break this up, and I notice it's an OR statement. So I'm going to have 5 minus 2x is greater than or equal to 1, or 5 minus 2x is less than or equal to negative 1. Subtracting 5, I get negative 2x is greater than or equal to negative 4, or negative 2x is less than or equal to negative 6. Now, one thing that we haven't talked about yet is when we divide by a negative, which we're about to do here, we have to switch the direction of the sign. So this gives me x is less than or equal to 2, or x is less than or greater than or equal to, 3. So a quick little graph here. Greater than or equal to 3, less than or equal to 2. So we're going to say negative infinity up to 2, bracket, union 3 to infinity. Take a look at D. Here we're going to isolate our absolute value, so we're going to add 5. The absolute value of 2x minus 4 is less than negative 5. An absolute value, which always has to be a positive value, cannot be less than a negative value, so this has no solution. You do have to keep your eyes out for this, because if you just follow the process blindly, you're going to get an answer that doesn't work. Okay, next. This one is an OR statement because it's a great OR. So we'll have 7 minus x is greater than or equal to negative 4, or 7 minus x is less than or equal to positive 4. And actually, as I write that, I recognize this is saying an absolute value, which we know to be positive, is going to be greater than or equal to negative 4. That's always true. So we're going to get negative infinity to infinity. Our last example here is a rational function. We don't treat it any differently. We're going to break this one out of jail. 2x plus 1 over 3 is greater than 5. It's great OR. So it's an OR statement. 2x plus 1 over 3 is less than negative 5. If I multiply by 3, I get 2x plus 1 is greater than 15, or 2x plus 1 is less than negative 15. 2x is greater than 14, so x is greater than 7. And 2x is less than negative 16, so x is less than negative 8. So keeping in mind that we always write our interval with the smallest numbers first, this is going to be negative infinity up to negative 8, union 7 to infinity. That concludes this video on absolute value equations and inequalities.